Yeah, my oldest, my oldest is loving being a brother. He loves it. We were a little worried about it. Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me? Yes. Good morning. How about Zoom Land? Can you guys hear me out there? Couple yeses. All right. Hey, JJ. Thanks for joining us. All right. Well, let's get started. It's great to be back, everyone. I cannot tell you. Well, I'm going to just make a confession really quick. Being at home is a lot of work. Raising kids is a lot of work.
Amen.
And to all the mamas out there, let's just have a moment because, wow. But I'm a blessed man and having children is wonderful. Amen?
Amen.
Amen. Wonderful. All right, well, let's kick this off. As always, we want to thank our sponsors. Don't know if you've noticed a new sponsor on this. It's not new, but I just wanted to reiterate. We have George from Ventura Graphics. He's actually sitting at the cubicle right in front of our office, and he'll be here every Thursday in person so that on demand, any graphics that you need, social media content, all of that stuff, logos, go see our guy, George from Ventura Graphics. He'll hook you up. All right, Ignite. So here we go again with Ignite. I will tell you guys, in successful market centers like ours, they run Ignite about 8 times a year. That's how much they believe in Ignite. So Drew, can you tell us a little bit about Ignite and tell them about it?
Okay, so I got some good news and I got some bad news. All right, I'll give you the good news first. You ready? You have an opportunity. The question is, will you take advantage of the opportunity? What's the opportunity?
Ignite.
More business.
More business. What else? For my Ignite veterans, what's the goal of Ignite?
Become a capper.
Become a capper. Become a capper? No. What's the goal of Ignite?
To cap.
Okay. So based on this response, we're going to have, there's 20 in the room and 20 out in Zoom land. I guess we're going to have 40 people in Ignite come Monday, because y'all don't even know what the goal of Ignite is. Ken, you've been in Ignite like at least 4 times that I've facilitated.
I taught it, yes.
The goal of Ignite is to increase your database by
200.
200 contacts. What would your business look like if in 4 weeks from now, on August the 6th, 2021, you added 200 people to your database? How would your business look then?
I have 200 more contacts and some more business.
200 contacts and some more business, right? Okay, all right, so July the 12th, Monday, 9:30 in the morning, right here, live in the training room, or on Zoom if you would like. We're going to kick off. I'm going to facilitate it all the way through the end of the month. So I expect and trust that I will see you all in Ignite come Monday morning at 9:30. Yes. If you got it, say aye. Aye. I expect to see you there.
I don't know if you guys ever heard Drew coach Ignite, but it's amazing. It's like he's taking it to church. You definitely have to be there. All right. Good morning, Jason. Nice to see you. I want to tee up Mega Camp. Mega Camp is going to be digital again this year. It was a huge success last year. As much as I would prefer to go in person, it was an awesome success. They actually make the materials available for about a month afterwards. So tons of downloadables, tons of good stuff you already know. This is like college boot camp, right? This is like a few days of college worth of material. So early bird pricing begins this month, mid-July. If you guys want to, you're going to hear us pushing it, so please let us know if you want to go. Script Warriors, if JD didn't just leave, I'd have him talk about it. I don't know if you guys are here in the morning about 7:30, but JD has a group of about now, I don't know, is it 10 or 15, 20 people, and they're in there in the morning doing their affirmations, making tons of noise and creating amazing energy, and it's incredible. And they're in there script practicing, cold calling. It's the real deal. So if you guys want to learn more about that, go see JD. And really, all of us can use refining our skills on scripts. Never can we not. Well, that's a weird looking slide. Something happened there, but we're doing something for the kids this year. All right, so something that I learned about that I didn't really think about because I don't have kids in school yet. Please excuse the funkiness of that slide there. But here's the idea. Some of these kids that are not as privileged as some of us, they go to school with the same shoes that they wore the year before. And it's a thing that they get picked on. They get picked on majorly. As a matter of fact, it gets pretty bad. Some of them, I hate to say it, have taken their own lives over stuff like this. Right? It's a serious thing. So there's this guy, is a pastor of the Well Church. His name is Juan Perdermo, and he has a heart for these kids. And he was telling me the story, and it was like I was getting chills, like holding back tears thinking about this. Right? So we have an opportunity to give some of these kids a nice pair of kicks. You know, for less than $50, you can get a really nice like pair of Adidas or Nikes. If you want more information on that, please come see myself or Iman. We'll give you more information. We're collecting by the 15th. We've already had a bunch of you guys donate, so thank you all so much for donating and spending the money to do that. May God bless you and your children for doing that. Okay, so let's go ahead and bless these kids. Let's give back, because to be honest, I think about our kids. I think about my kids. Like, they are our future generation, and the things that we go through as kids scars the rest of our lives, right? So let's give them some sunshine this year. Oh, there you go. That's why it was funky. So it's Kicks for Kids. That's what it's called. July 15th is the last day. All right, a couple more announcements before we get going. We have a top producer panel. I'm excited about this one. We have Paula Stafford. If you guys remember her, she moved to EXP. We're excited to have her. Karen, how do you say it? Goddard. From Berkshire, we have our very own Thomas Blaskus, and then we have the Queen herself showing up. So that's going to be next Thursday at Transplants Brewery. And go ahead and get a free beer and pizza. And this is sponsored by Old Republic and NHD. So thank you, Stacy and Renee, for putting that on. Please show up, guys. We're going to have a great time next week. All right, really quickly, look at those numbers, guys. You guys closed 210 units last month in June. You guys made $195,000 in company dollar for us. That's a lot of money, guys. And then we profit shared $49,000 in the month of June. Just our office to you guys. I think that that's incredible, and we don't share that story enough. So congratulations to you guys who have all partaken in profit share. Our very own Carlos Paez, you guys know what's going on with him, yes?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. So we need to continue holding him in our prayers. He's doing amazing, guys. Let me tell you, this guy is got a winner's attitude. Am I right, Amy? I mean, he just knew he was going to make it from the beginning. It's truly awe-inspiring. He needs our help, though. He needs to relocate down to LA. It's very expensive to live down there because he needs to be close to, I believe, Kaiser Sunset, right? So it's expensive down there. We have some donations. We have a GoFundMe account. Jackie, are you on the call today? Let's see here. All right, guys, so expect from me a follow-up email with a link on how we can donate. Go ahead, Iman.
The link was sent.
It was.
Everyone, it's not GoFundMe. He shows, it's a page that goes directly toward his medical expenses.
Okay. Well, I'm going to make sure you guys resend it. We're going to resend it today. So look for the subject title, Donate to Carlos Paez, and let's all put our heads and monies together. And let's quickly see this message from him and see how he's doing.
Hi, Carlos. How are you guys doing today? We're just doing this video. We would like to
Hang on a second, guys. Let me turn up the volume.
As some of you guys know,
Let me start this
we
over.
would like to video because we would like to share a little bit of my situation, what's happening in my life. As some of you guys know, in Keller Williams, I just went through a lung transplant a month ago. Everything's going pretty well. And we have a website going on for donation that we would like for all you guys to help us out, not only to share, but whatever you guys can contribute to that will help us out big time. I had to relocate my family and myself for 3 months close to the hospital until we finish my treatment and get everything going. The website that we have is called helphopetolive.org. We're going to be sharing this on Facebook, and that way you guys can see it and see the pictures of me getting out of the operation. Thanks God, I'm getting better. Every day I'm getting stronger. So we're hoping that within another 3 months, I should be back with you guys in the office. So get ready, because I'm coming to kick some ass in the business. So let's get going. Help us out. It will be big to me and my family, because like I say, right now we have a lot of expenses. We have to relocate the family for 3 months. We have the rent in here. We have the mortgage. We have some other bills coming up. So please help us out. Thank you very much, and I'll see you guys soon.
I don't know about you, that warms my heart. I will say a lot of this is out of pocket for him. This is not covered by his insurance. So it's an enormous expense, as you can imagine. So definitely keep him right. Look at him. He looks like he's putting on weight. He looks happy, so I'm just so happy to see that. All right. Now, let's have some fun. Amy, come on up. We're going to do a little Price is Right.
Come on. Before I get into the Price is Right, I just want to touch upon the shoes for the kids for a minute. So I was a kid with the shoe problem. So just to let you know, I come from humble beginnings. I grew up in the projects in New York. And so my mom did a real good job of insulating us, but there were some things she wasn't able to provide. And shoes was one of those issues. So I can remember the school put together some people, I don't know, it was some nonprofit, and they would bring the shoes, and this is the way they gave us the shoes. There would be trash bags full of shoes, and they would just dump them, right? And then as they dumped them, all the kids ran and put on the shoes. If it fits, it was yours. We didn't care if it was Adidas or Nike or whatever. All we cared about is if it fit. So it was pretty important. So that's kind of near and dear to my heart because I was one of those kids. The other thing I want to talk about is Carlos. Just to give you a little bit, I've been talking to him throughout this whole process before he had his lung transplant, not during, but right after and all of that. Here's my aha. Faith. Wow.
Amen.
Faith. God, family, then business. And that guy, was he scared? Yeah. There was some times that, he shed some tears and he was scared. But it was his faith that pulled him through. And sometimes we forget that. And we have our triangle of maybe upside down of God, family, then business, right? We have business, family, then God. So get that triangle switched around. It's God, family, then business. And here's my aha with that. He was unwavering faith. Just unwavering faith. God will, whatever's supposed to be, whatever God wants for me, that's what will happen. And I was awestruck by that. So just thought I'd share that. Now, I'd like to get to the Price is Right. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Woo. Yeah. All right. So those of you who have not been, hey JJ, are you out there? Hi there, JJ. So here's the thing, JJ. Feel free to play. Okay, and all of you Zoomers out there, feel free to play. So
you don't want me to play.
You get too competitive.
We want you to play, JJ. Trust me. Here's the thing. I'm going to show you some properties. We're going to talk about square footage, the bedrooms, bathrooms. If you guess the price, these properties have sold in the last 2 weeks. If you guess the price of what the property sold for without going over, when you go over, that's it. It's done, right? Just like the Price is Right. So you have to get either as close as possible to the price without going over, and you'll win a prize. You ready?
Ready.
All righty. Those of you in Zoomland, you're going to go ahead and put it in the chat box. Those of you that are here, please write it on a piece of paper. Please write it on a piece of paper. Okay, ready? Here we go. This is on Norbury Street, 4 bedrooms, 2 bath. Built in 2007, 1749 square feet.
East, no,
Here's
right.
a,
That's east.
okay.
Oh, got it.
All right. What's the price? Come on now. What is it?
470.
470.
425.
425.
590.
590.
475.
420.
450.
450.
475.
480.
All right. Write it down. Write it down as proof. How about you Zoomers out there?
This was 480.
All right. Let's see what. Okay. The price. There it is.
Play the game.
Close the Zoomers. Yep.
Look at my number on the board.
Okay.
I'm gonna go get pens for everybody.
Okay.
Or 30 bucks.
449.
429, 52.
Let's reveal it.
475.
Let's reveal it. What are we doing?
Just click on that.
We don't know if
Reveal
some
it.
people are cheating now.
Come on. This All right. Who got closest to 430 without going over?
I got 425.
425. JD, what do you got?
I got 475. That's more.
So far, 425 Zoomers.
429.
Alexandrina, she got 429. Oh! Are you out there?
I didn't want it.
Okay, so here is your
Prize.
here's your gift card right here.
Get shot on Skelly.
Here you go. So this will be given to my mom, and she'll make sure that it goes into your mailbox. Okay? Here you go. Thank you. You're welcome. Congratulations. All right, ready for the next one, guys?
Ready?
Yes.
Let's see. What's up with it? Okay,
There you
here we go. All right, so this one's on the west side, 47th Street, 5-bedroom, 3-bath. Wow, almost 3,400 square feet. That's a nice home.
Is it?
We're doing another one. Okay.
Here we go. Beautiful kitchen.
What was the square footage?
33.
33.
Look at that. It's got a pool.
Oh, and a pool.
And a pool.
Yeah.
All right.
I thought you were looking around.
JJ, you got a number? Write it down. Come on, everyone. Write down your number. Zoomers. Write it down.
I should have said nothing.
I was gonna.
Everybody got it written down?
I think,
Pens down. Pens down. Ready?
Yep.
All right. Here it is. 560. What do you got? What do you got? What do you got?
Oh, I went over.
The Zoomers.
Judging these, I'm.
Nobody in here got close?
Oh, 535 on mine.
565. I wrote down what I would have sold.
No, we got So far, anybody, so give me.
Yeah, me too. I was at 740.
Who got that? Did you? Are you, our own Shonda Skilling, better than the real estate agent, she's an escrow. So Contract Escrow can't win, Contract Escrow is doing this for you.
I didn't know the price though.
Okay, so the closest one we have is actually, without going over, we had a 565, a Zoomer with 565. That went over, so that was disqualified. Was 535. So 535 by?
52. What is that?
Who did the 535, Mike?
Reina Sosa.
Reina? Are you on, Reina?
From the first one.
There you go.
All right.
There. Congratulations. Your gift card will be in your mailbox. Congratulations. Good job. Okay.
Can you tell us the address so we can Google it real quick? It's about guessing. My numbers are guessing.
Yes. Okay, ready? This is the last one. Here's your chance. You're gonna, come on, show your skills, please. What's up? What's up? Here we go.
Hold the comps.
This one's on the west side,
Oh.
on 59th Street. 4-bedroom, 2-bath. Look at that beautiful 3-car garage, single story. Built in 2004. 21 and some change in square footage. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Looks like a small backyard.
Down number. Good work, Finn.
Okay. How much? Come on, Zoomers?
I got this.
Come on,
I got this.
everybody. How much? Tell me the numbers.
510, 510.
510. Marina, how much?
505, baby.
505. 195.
465.
465. Ken.
585.
585. All right, put the pens down, put the pens down. What do we have on Zoom?
485, 460.
Okay, here's the price.
She was too confident.
Hey, wait, what you do?
Well,
505.
pretty impressive.
Okay.
Like 499.
Okay. So I want to thank you for until next week's Price is Right. Will you come, make sure you come more prepared. I don't know how many cards we brought. We said where there's going to be 2, 3 winners each time. So 505, Narita, congratulations. Next week we'll also do this. Be prepared. And nice seeing you guys. And
Bring a friend.
bring a friend. So here's the thing. Do you think you have influence?
Yes.
Yeah, prove it. Show me by bringing a friend inside the company with you. Prove it. Okay?
Thank you, Amy.
Alrighty. So I've been putting out this challenge for the last 2 weeks. This is week number 3. Bring someone with you. When you come, to the office meeting that is inside the office, everyone's kind of still being a hermit out there. We need to get them out. We need to help them come out. It's okay. It's okay. Okay. So.
Come to Zoom land! You hear me, Zoom?
They're blaming you Zoomers out there. Like, come on in the office. This, I think the new norm will be a hybrid of both. But we certainly do miss you guys and would love for you to engage with your colleagues right here under this umbrella. Yeah. Okay, so without further ado, JJ, you ready?
You guys are lucky. I may be the only person on here that is a Price is Right Showcase Showdown winner.
Oh, what?
That's cool. You win a car?
Did you?
I wasn't sure if you guys were setting me up for this presentation or not, but I enjoyed playing it. It was good.
All right, JJ.
Everyone give a warm welcome for JJ.
We're all excited to hear the new and things that you're going to be speaking about. Thank you very much.
Okay. So, I appreciate you guys letting me come on here. I know when I was talking to Adam, he was targeting a couple weeks down the line, but I'm getting ready to go on a vacation next week. So, a couple things that are important. And I have Luis Garibay, our economic development manager, who's going to talk about a lot of the projects that we have going on right now that are exciting. But your city manager just sold his house, so I thought it was important to talk to you from, what my experience is and how I think that could help us work together. And we're going to probably engage all the realtors and KWAV and try to come up with a plan. But I wanted to early give you guys this heads up. I had a house on the west side. I sold it. I sold it to a Google employee who has relocated from LA because Google has come out, like other companies post-pandemic, and said, in the future, you're going to be able to work from home 80% of the time.
Wow.
So as realtors, I really want you to brainstorm and talk about how we can potentially partner as a city. And there's programs out there, and Luis knows the name, and some of them where they're offering incentives around the country to get people to relocate. So I know the housing stock right now is limited, but as a city, the more high-earning employees we can relocate to Palmdale and the entire AB will help us really invest in our overall quality of life in terms of improved schools, improved amenities. We are going out. I talked to you the last time, I think I mentioned a regional recreation center. And on the agenda next Tuesday is the design firm to help design that. And you know, we're excited about that. We're hoping that'll be located somewhere visible from the 14, and we think it's going to be a little bit of an economic development driver, getting more people from outside the area to come up and look and spend some of their money here. But really wanted to, you know, there are other major corporations that are doing the same thing, and you guys live this every day. You show some of those homes, and just, you know, the last one. Down in LA, they're probably spending $900,000 for the same square foot model. So to the person who bought my house, you know, looked in Santa Clarita, came up here, and him and his wife made a decision that what they can get in the house and the yard mattered. And I think he has other peers that are probably doing the same look. But I think there's an opportunity for the real estate community in the city to partner on a project to help incentivize people from out of the area to really consider Palm Down. I wanted to talk about that and get your insights and thoughts.
That's awesome. Do you guys have any questions? Like, yes, Tim.
Why not more entitlement zones?
Can you hear that okay? Did you hear that okay?
More entitlement zones, like
special
opportunity zones, or?
Yeah, opportunity zones, maybe we have all that land even all the way down on the east side that just is open and nothing, and all we hear is there are water issues, so we can't build. I thought that the former president signed something that allowed the state to not have a shortage of water. And so I'm curious why we have a desert so full of land, and everywhere else in the world there is no land. I had a friend that passed away in Arizona. They're building like crazy. I'm talking everywhere you can go in Arizona. There's just endless amounts of building and houses, yet we have no building here. I mean, hardly any building of new real estate here. And there's a shortage. I go out and show homes, and there's a lot of people right on the fringe that can't afford homes, that have to go to Cal City to buy a home, that they come out of Section 8 backgrounds, they work hard, they're great for the community, they're being priced out. If we had some kind of building and growth here.
So what do you think about that, JJ, like, about new builds?
So we have a lot of new builds in the pipeline, especially in that market. There's 2 projects that I'm aware of that are going through the entitlement process now that have single family in the front with a detached ADU. That I think the ADU is about 1,000 square feet, but these are going to be owner occupied.
Is that
So-
on Rancho Vista Boulevard?
No, it's nothing.
No, they're East Palm.
2 projects, we need 100 projects.
Well, I know we need 100 projects. So the Rancho Vista Boulevard project, that had gone back because it had the split. They bifurcated the property so the commercial could get their financing on the front half of the property at 15th Street there, and the back half is going to be market rate housing. Apartments, the first in 25 years, where we can recruit our engineers and doctors or whoever else who want an apartment. And I think that's going to free up. There's also condo projects further down, another market rate housing. I will tell you.
So just right now, we figure that there's about 1,100 new housing product that's either under construction or we anticipate will begin construction this calendar year. Now, obviously, we know that's enough. There's actually a handful, like JJ mentioned, of other fully entitled housing projects that are ready to go, but a lot of them have made the decision to hold off because of the fluctuation in the construction material pricing. They're trying to play it out and see how that would go. Now, again, not great for anybody listening here today, but there's definitely a lot of product that's in the pipeline ready to go. It's just a matter of getting them to pull the trigger. And from what we're hearing is very soon a lot of these projects are really going to start jump starting. You're going to see a lot of new construction starting taking place. The other thing is, I know you mentioned kind of the east side area. The thing to remember about that, and just in terms of the availability of land, is a lot of that stuff on the far east side of town is actually in the unincorporated pocket of LA County. There's about 17,000 acres that's there next to Plant 42 all the way out to 47th Street East that is outside of our jurisdiction. And again, that's we don't have any influence in terms of what's developed in those areas. We would love to have more housing in that area. It probably would make some sense. But that is, as you can imagine, is a slower process and something that we would have to work with them to get.
A lot of red tape with the LA City was what you're saying. LA County, excuse me.
Yeah, unincorporated LA County. It's actually owned by the city of LA, really LA World Airport.
So
I also want, I want everybody to know, we are looking at various zones. We are not gonna wait for developers, so we're and Luis can talk about the specifics, but a lot of times it is the infrastructure costs that deter people. So what the city has done, we went out and we are working with the county to do what's called an EIFD, Enhanced Infrastructure Financing District, and this will be 10 areas around the city that we'll be able to, we are gonna pledge our tax revenue, and the county's gonna pledge a portion of their tax revenue, so we can bury those dollar bills in the ground and build the infrastructure ourselves, so that when the tax revenue is coming in, it can pay the debt service and make it cheaper for the developers or the landowners to then recruit medical complexes or things like that. Luis, you wanna touch on that a little? I gave him 30,000 feet, maybe bring it down to 50.
Yeah, no, as JJ mentioned, it's a great partnership between the county and the city. And again, most developers, especially on the housing front, aren't gonna invest the $5 million that's needed to extend a water line to the far east side of town or different pockets that have been undeveloped. And that's one of the main reasons why these areas haven't been developed, because the infrastructure is not there. So we've been very fortunate through the council's leadership and JJ's great ideas to try to create this partnership going. And now we have a mechanism to help partner with the development community and as JJ mentioned, get that infrastructure in the ground and invest in the community so that more sustainable development can happen throughout the city.
What other questions do you guys have? Mark, go ahead.
Do we have timelines on those? You mentioned 10 projects or 10 specific things. Are there timelines set to those already?
The project areas?
Yeah.
So we're going through the process now to finalize the partnership. That should be done by November. And then after that, again, it's not like suddenly a pot of money disappears where we're able to do projects, but it does give us some flexibility knowing that there's going to be some money available there long term to help get creative and create some new partnerships with the development community. There might be an opportunity, if it makes sense, for the city to come in first and say, hey, look, we know this project's on the list, we know we need to make this investment, but we're gonna pay it through the EIFD, but what if we, the city, will front the money, get the project going, and then we'll get reimbursed on the back end with these funds. So if anything, at least gives us a lot of flexibility to, with the development community and just to help both on the housing front and on the industrial and commercial front as well.
Let me talk about one project that I think is going to be a catalyst for development, and it'll probably be more commercial development, but it will also offer the opportunity of residential, is the Pilot gas station. Pilot's moving in on the back half of the swap meet, and one of the problems out there is the infrastructure. So we're asking them to build out the sewer, a line out to 47th Street, so that, for instance, on this DIFD, if we can extend sewer along 47th Street, that'll really spur more growth in that area as you're coming into the city. So that's an exciting project. It might be in construction in the next 3 months.
Very cool.
Wait.
What other question? Yeah, go ahead.
So what is the city's plan for the on and off ramp over here at Rancho Vista Boulevard? I know it's come up in the past about fixing the issue with how much traffic. Where are you guys at with that?
So, well, they did finish the on and off ramp at Rancho Vista, but we did not, and
It didn't help
while I
our
wasn't
traffic.
here, I'll take ownership of it because I guess I'm wearing the city hat. They invested like very little in landscaping, and so we were going back on that project and trying to work, tying all the landscaping across
Not the
all
land-
of our exits on and off ramps.
Not the landscaping, it's the traffic backup, so what's
Yeah,
the?
so they
city's plan?
extended that, it used to be one lane, it's now three.
So no
You're talking
plan.
about traffic on the freeway?
Yeah.
So when you're getting off the,
They're
for
saying
the Rancho Vista,
36.
the cars are backed up, 8 or 10 deep sometimes.
On the freeway, right?
Yeah, but they already fixed it.
Okay, so
Got it.
that's what you're talking about.
What other questions do you guys have? And let's also think about this through the lens of how will this affect your business, right? Like, we JJ, you mentioned a partnership, and that's the kind of thing that I want to talk about a little bit more before we let you go, is what does that look like? And what are some ideas that you have for us? And so just to recap, you're seeing a lot of people like Google, and I'm sure Amazon will be following, they're gonna be working from home, right? So there's still gonna be a demand for housing, right? So what does that kind of partnership look like to you? Do you have any ideas around that?
I do, Luis, what's the name of the company that we got,
Make Me Move,
yeah.
makememove.org, yeah.
So if you guys wanna look that up, and what they do is they advertise communities across the country who are offering incentives for people to move into their location, into their communities. They could be tax, breaks, they could be direct cash. So I think we could talk about what would work for us here in the Antelope Valley.
Right.
And if the city had to come up with some, revenue, how do we partner on something like that? And I'm open to the conversation.
Wonderful. Well, you know me, I'll just go ahead and reach out and be like, hey, let's do this. And I appreciate you putting that into our heads. Go ahead, Mark. We've got another question for you.
Yeah, what are we doing with homeless population and all this stuff? I mean, we're talking about bringing people in. I'd love to see people in. The comments we get a lot of people from out of area and different other things. Now, you guys have a homeless problem, and they're nervous about buying out here. There's a reason Santa Clarita is more expensive than we are, and I don't feel like they tolerate it. Maybe it's just my thought on that, but how can we better do whatever it is we need to do to get those folks either out of our city and or in some other sort of a program where they're no longer on the street corners and messing up everything.
Tell your church to
Wow.
stop.
Wow, Mark.
Understand.
I want to bring it home.
He's working
In
on
my
it.
head, I understand that this is, could be recorded, whatever. I'm just.
It's not. JJ, don't feel cornered, man. It's you.
Yeah, no, this is my reality every day. I mean, we hear it, right? But you gotta understand that during the pandemic, all you have to do is drive down Palmdale Boulevard, get to the Palmdale exit, and you have a little bit of a tent city that started there, 4 or 5 tents, it's growing and went a little bit across the street. That's in the Caltrans right away. We've been fighting to get Caltrans to get those people moved, because we can't go on, because we don't own that property. And we need a letter of agency. So anywhere in the city, it takes us 72 hours if we get a letter of agency saying we can go on, we can serve them, we can post it.
From the county?
No, from the.
No, from the landowner.
Oh, okay, got it.
Caltrans, they've stopped across the entire state enforcing that during the pandemic year. And I got an email as early as yesterday saying we appealed. The mayor has sent blasting Facebook messages about this to our state senators and our assemblymen. But the Sacramento is not letting anybody do anything. The county sheriff last week sent a letter to the Board of Supervisors asking them to declare a state of emergency in our county on the lack of enforcement on the homeless population, and all you have to do is go to Venice. You don't have to go to.
Yeah, go to LA. Get off any street off of LA.
So
Crazy.
I can't talk about Santa Clarita's numbers. I can tell you that Palmdale's numbers are about where we were last year. When they did the last count, we had a slight reduction, like a 10% reduction. And then Lancaster's numbers doubled.
Yeah.
So our homeless count was like 300 and Lancaster's was 2,000.
Oh my God.
So I get, you know,
They're all off the
that
Avenue L.
it's there. We are trying to be as aggressive as we can in moving them, but sometimes what I can assure everybody on this call, that there is not anybody out there who hasn't been approached by our staff to offer them services, to offer them a place to live. They are making choices based on, well, if I go to a shelter, I can't do drugs. If I go to a shelter, I can't bring my alcohol. So it's a sad
They don't want
situation.
the help.
I wish my hands weren't tied.
Is there anything we as agents can do to help? Can we help sign documents? Can we help send letters? Can we help, I don't know, whatever, notify you of stuff? Is there, because we're 300 agents strong in just this office alone. Can we do something to help you in your battle, so to speak?
Sure, if you guys would sign the letter, and send it, Luis put his economic development email in the chat box. If you can send a letter demanding that the state reverse their decision not to enforce, removing homeless from state lands, because they know where we can touch them and they know where we can't now. So that would be helpful.
Yeah, it sounds like they're stuck between a rock and a hard place.
Yeah, our next letter. Right.
Does the city on the website have a blank letter of agency that we can share? Because I think a lot of times
That's a good question.
business owners don't know that they can just file that and then they'll come out and assist
Yeah,
in
that's a good
removing
one.
them.
Did you hear that, JJ?
I did. So because I'm going on vacation and because I have to walk out here in 2 minutes because there's a ribbon cutting at the hospital, I'm gonna have Louise get in touch with Mike Miller and we'll get that to Adam.
Okay.
And then Adam, if you can circulate it.
Thank you. That was a great question.
Who'd you sell your house through?
Did you buy a new one yet?
He did for sale by owner.
Yeah, you just for Joe by owner. There you go.
No, I did not. Ferris Tarazi.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
And hey, I set the bar for all of you guys.
Yeah. Hey.
So apparently, my home was the first one in that area. I lived out by N8 and 55th Street, but first one that crossed over the 690 barrier. So.
Oh, I do want to say one thing.
And I soared past it, so that should bring more commission to all of you.
Did he rebuy? Did you rebuy in the AV?
He's got to go, guys.
I rebought, I bought in the AV. I'm here. I'm in the unincorporated. I'm on 08 now.
Okay.
20th and 08.
Right on. We'll go visit you. I'm just kidding. Enjoy your vacation, JJ. Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks, everyone.
We really appreciate you. Thank you. All right, guys, we are doing pretty good on time. Before we wrap it up, Scott, are you on? Calling the Silver Fox. Calling the Silver Fox. There you are.
I'm here.
All right, guys. Well, Scott's just going to give us a quick did you know. He's got something quickly prepared for us. Go ahead, Scott.
Oh. All right, I want to start this with a little story. Recently, I'm speaking to an attorney friend of mine that this guy, he's got his wife, he's got 12 kids, and they do not own a house, they rent a house, and they were having a problem, their lease was up, the landlord wanted them out, and he was having a hard time finding a new house. You know, you show up at a house with 12 kids and a wife, and landlords just don't want to rent to you for some reason. So attorneys are a lot like realtors, they can't tell a lie. So what he decided to do, he figured a way around this. He told his wife to take 11 of the kids to the cemetery while he went and met with a realtor to look at the house. So the wife took the 11 kids to the cemetery. He went over and met with the realtor to view a house. And he's talking to the realtor, and the realtor said, well, it's just you and your son. How many children do you have? And he said, well, I've got 11 other children and a wife. And he said, well, where are they? And with a sad look on his face, he said, you know, they're in the cemetery. And the realtor said, oh my God, I'm sorry to hear that. Well, that's how he got his house. Okay. The same thing is happening to us with our offers. Okay, you guys need to realize this. You know, the same thing is happening. We're being told partial stories and not the whole truths. People are removing their appraisal contingencies. Okay, I'm going to remove my appraisal contingency, but I don't have all the funds in escrow to make up the difference, or all the funds in the bank to make up the difference. So appraisal comes in low. Well, they remove the appraisal contingency. They're not removing their inspection contingencies until after the appraisal. So if the appraisal comes in low, they're canceling based on the inspection. Or they're coming back to the seller and asking the seller to drop the price. There's a transaction going on right now where there's text message trails, there's email trails that states that the buyer will remove all contingencies. They've got plenty of money in the bank, but it isn't what's on the contract. And what's on the contract is what people go by. So I want to make you guys aware that when people are removing these contingencies, and it goes both ways. If we're on the buyer's side, you know, take a look at all your contingencies, because you can cancel because any particular contingency along the way. All right? You remove your appraisal contingency, you still have inspection contingencies, you still have disclosure contingencies, you still have a loan contingency. All right? It can be canceled because of any of those. So if they're removing their appraisal contingency, what else can we do to protect our sellers from losing that transaction? Well, we can shorten our inspection contingencies. Another issue that I'm seeing a lot is we're not getting the disclosures over. All right, well, we have 5 disclosures that are required. You know, they're statutory disclosures. Your TDS, your SBQ, your NHD, now your fire hardening in defensible space, and also your lead-based paint if it applies. Your TDS is not complete until your AVID is complete. All right, so what's happening is we just had a deal that canceled because the agent didn't turn the AVID in until week 3, and the buyer used the seller's AVID to cancel, even though there was nothing bad. You know, they have 5 days to review it, so that's why they canceled, and it was all tied to a low appraisal. All right? So guys, what I'd like to see you do is tighten up these contingencies, both on the buyer side and the seller side. Make sure that your appraisal contingency, your inspection contingencies, you can decrease the time if they're dropping their appraisal. Get those inspections out of the way before the appraisal is done. All right, that's going to protect your sellers. If you're on the buyer side, yeah, you want to stretch it out as long as you can. But get them done before the appraisal if you're on your seller side. Your disclosures, there is nothing wrong with turning over the TDS, the SBQ, your AVID, an NHD report, lead base if it's needed, prior to the offer is accepted. Give those disclosures to them so that contingency's gone. They accept the offer, they've accepted all those disclosures. Okay, there's nothing wrong with doing it that way. All right? Any questions for me on this topic here?
Not really this topic, but what do you think about the agents that are presenting, the buyer's agents presenting multiple offers?
There's nothing illegal about it.
Right, it's just you accept their offer and then they say, oh, well, we just got another offer accepted, we don't want yours.
As the listing agent, we need to ask that question, right up front.
Yeah, how many other offers have you written? You need to ask the questions, and thank you for keying me there, Adam, because that's really what it all boils down to, is we have to ask the questions. We can't take what they tell us at face value. If that realtor in the story that I asked had gone one step further and said, gee, how did all 11 kids end up in the cemetery with your wife? Well, they're there having a picnic. You know, it would have been a different story, but he made the assumption, just like all of us did, that there must have been some tragedy that happened. So it's one of those things, but you have to ask the questions. Now, as far as buyers writing multiple offers, there is nothing illegal about it. However, there might be something unethical about it. And we all raise our right hand, we all take an oath, and we're held to a higher standard. And the contract also states that a buyer and seller are acting in good faith. Well, if that buyer is not disclosing that he wrote multiple offers, is he acting in good faith? No. Is the agent acting in good faith? Article 1 of our Code of Ethics states that we need to be fair and honest with everybody, whether we have agency or not. If we're not disclosing that we're writing more than one offer, are we being honest and fair? You know, I can't make that decision for you guys. You have to. You know, there's a panel when these questions come up at the boards. They make those decisions. All right, and they take our money, make us go to schools. You know, when we do things we're not supposed to do. You know, I can't tell you guys what to do and what not to do. We're all adults and we all know the good and bad, right and wrong. Okay? It all falls on your shoulders.
That's good. That's good. Any more?
You have a 1 o'clock class today, Scott?
Not today. Normally on Tuesdays and Thursdays I have a 1 o'clock contracts class. There is not this week. Is, to be honest, my kid's here from where's he been forever? Italy, and I'm spending some time with him before he goes to Louisiana and then to Iraq or Afghanistan. He doesn't know where he's going.
All right, well, that's important. Well, we appreciate you, Scott. Thanks for that. From what I'm hearing you saying, the moral of the story is ask questions and be strategic. If you're going to drop your appraisal contingency, don't wait. Don't drag out all the other inspections and stuff, because they still would have the right to cancel. But if you get it done before the appraisal, then you're protecting your sellers. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah, it does.
That makes sense.
So that's really good. Thanks for sharing that.
Thank you, yeah.
And guys, every morning at 9:30, I have a broker's call and we go over these questions, and there's usually 50, 60 people on that call. All right, and we go over problems that occur and how to get around them. So, you know, you guys are welcome on those calls anytime.
Will do.
All right,
Thank you
that's
so much,
Monday
Scott.
through Friday at 9:30.
All right, enjoy your family.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a good one.
Take care.
Thanks, Scott.
Thank you.
All right, so we are running out of time, so we got one more special thing for you guys. This spinny wheelie thing that we get to. Yeah, help me out. All right. See Big J in here. So we want to thank you guys for your sponsor and for helping us grow, right? This is what we're just acknowledging. You helped us grow by all your referrals. So if your name is on this board, or if you're on the call, you get to spin the wheel. And you got to be present, all right? So if you're not here in the room, or if you're not on Zoom, unfortunately, you won't get to spin it. So I think Jason is in the room. So come on up, man. Come on up and spin it.
$100.
All right.
Hey, you just take it right off of there.
Oh, you
Okay.
Buy a lot of
I thought that was a new car.
So it is $100.
That's one coffee.
It's gonna
Okay,
be-
Rhonda, are you out there? Rhonda, are you out there in Zoom land?
You gotta change the screen view.
Okay, you snooze, you lose. Let's do it. Okay, Veronica?
Change your screen view.
Veronica? Okay, Otto, you want to spin for her?
Yeah, you can.
He can
Come on
win
up,
it.
man.
That's my wife. It's like
Yeah,
one.
you guys are one.
Come on.
Come on, handsome.
Come on down.
You gotta put down the baby weight.
Come on, do it.
There
Big
you go.
spin. There we go. And we go. All right. What'd she get? $10 Subway. Take it off there. There's yours. Gloria, where's my
I like
G?
the
She out there?
She's in Mexico.
Gloria. You snooze, you lose. If you're out in Zoom land and you are there, you can choose someone in here to spin for you. But if you're not in the office meeting at all, you don't get to spin. That's the rule. So I guess Gloria's not out there. Unmute yourself if you are.
I feel like Mick and Julie should be able to go.
Okay, guys, so that's the end of Wheel of Fortune.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for being here. You guys have a blessed day. We're here for you always. Peace.
Did you say you were gonna pitch up to Oh, yeah. That's a significant decision.
This is why they're not touching it. Exactly.